Hello there, YouTube. Welcome to SaintRiot.com on the internet. It has come to my attention. One of you lovely people has put me on notice that I'm close to having 1,000 videos uploaded on YouTube. Currently, if you go to the front page of my YouTube channel, the video that auto-plays as sort of an introduction to the channel is a Dark Souls 3 Learn to Invade video, which is, pretty apt. It's pretty good introduction into what I do here, but the fact that it's Dark Souls 3 feels a little dated at this point, so I thought, okay, I'll make another video and I'll put that up here, and I'll make it more of just a general sort of thing. So hello, this is going to be the channel that goes on the front page here at the SaintRiot.com on the internet at YouTube. And yeah, hi, I'm Saint Riot. I do a lot of invasions, and that's pretty much 99% of everything that will be on this YouTube channel. I do other stuff as well, but this entire YouTube channel is for the most part just dedicated to invasion shenanigans and or my little Barbie doll dress up where I make different builds in Elden Ring and play around with them and show you cool clips of things that happen. Occasionally with commentary that doesn't make any sense, or commentary that is designed to sort of help you out. If you are trying to learn how to do invasions, we'll go over some things that are good, and maybe things that are good in the right circumstances, and stuff like that. That's the general vibe here of what's going on. My name is Saint Riot. That's not my real name, obviously. No one would have a name that cool. But that's been my name here for almost a decade now. A few years shy of a decade. That name comes from me wanting a cool name. I read a comic book called The Invisibles, and one of the characters in that comic book was called King Mob, and I thought King Mob is the coolest name in the world. So when it came time to have an internet moniker, I thought, well, what's something that's similar to that? And Saint Riot, King Mob Saint Riot. I thought, yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that. I could live with that, and here I am living with it, almost a decade later. You are going to see people say, Saint, do the Dungeon Master voice, and you may say to yourself, I don't know what that means. That is a reference to a video I made back during the Dark Souls 3 days. I made a video going, an entire series, going over all of the different areas that I really liked to invade back in Dark Souls 3. One of those areas was the Irithyll Dungeon. And so the video I made was Irithyll Dungeons and Dragons, and it was narrated by the Dungeon Master, a character I made up, and the voice was me attempting to imitate the Dungeon Master from the 1980s Dungeons and Dragons cartoon, a cartoon that I am too young to have watched at the time, but in the age of the internet, I'm old enough that when the internet started getting huge and everything in the world got put on the internet, but before everything became impossible to find on the internet, I came across that Dungeons and Dragons cartoon, and that stuck with me. The voice is more similar to an old, Jackass era Bam Margera CKY skit song they did about Skeletor and Beastman. The voice is more similar to Skeletor than it is Dungeon Master, but that's what it is. Do the Dungeon Master voice, Saint. That's where that comes from. What about verticality? I see that one all the time. Verticality just references sneaking up on players in a map from above and dropping down with a plunge attack and surprising your opponents and hopefully killing them. Verticality. Using the verticality of the level in order to give yourself some sort of advantage, which is a thing that at the time not a lot of PvP gurus were really talking about. Using the level to your advantage. You know, when you're doing invasions, you should know the level that you are invading in. Hopefully, you know that level better than your opponents. And if you do, you know, you can make use of level hazards and changes in topography. And you can score some of that sweet verticality. So finding out that I have 1,000 videos almost uploaded has triggered a sort of squirrel-like organization, spring cleaning type of thing. It's May, but I'm a procrastinator. Yeah, almost a sort of like spring cleaning type of thing. So I have started to compile playlists on the YouTube channel. This is something that I used to keep up with back in the day. Back in the Dark Souls 3 era, I would have different playlists for different types of videos. So I'm cleaning up my videos and I'm putting them in different playlists. There will be a playlist for just sort of like build showcases and or weapon and or spell and or, you know, Ash of War showcases. Anything that is insightful or in some way studious will go in that type of playlist. Then I'm going to have a playlist for my first playthrough of Elden Ring, which is also here. Obviously, that was the first playthrough of the game, so I didn't know anything. I didn't know where anything was. I didn't use any guides. Played completely blind. As a result, I missed a lot of stuff. But it was absolutely fantastic. Famously, a part of that playlist, a part of that first playthrough, rather, was me operating under the assumption that the game was going to be 30 hours long. Well, what gave you that idea, idiot? I'll tell you what gave me that idea. The creator of the game, Hidetaka Miyazaki, in an interview, was asked how long the game was, and he said about 30 hours. That's not true at all. But as a result of me reading that interview, I was like, okay, you know what? I'm not going to use fast travel on my first playthrough. And so that became a sort of like self-inflicted limitation that I put on myself. No fast travel. Well, that comes back to bite me in the butt really hard. If you're one of those people who's like, technically you have to fast travel to the round table hold. Shut up, you nerd. But that'll be a playlist. The very first playthrough will be a playlist. And then there will be a playlist full of my insane ramblings. And just weird bits and skits and things that I've done. And you might ask yourself, why do you do those things? And the reason I do those things is because when you have a YouTube channel, you will see the world's dumbest comments when a video sort of like reaches past where you think it's going to reach, right? I know my audience. I read y'all's comments. I see the same names over and over and over again. I think about what you guys say, and if you have like good ideas or whatever, like I do consider those things. Occasionally, though, you will see, you know, your video do well numbers-wise, and then the comments turn into just the most dumb thing in the world. And this will tie back into another part of Hi Hello, the introduction phase. All of this started because I liked Dark Souls 3 Invasions, and it seemed like most people at the time didn't like them. Dark Souls 3 was the first time I was able to actually have internet that was good enough for me to like stay connected, you know, on a console. And I went and I bought a PlayStation 4, you know, for Dark Souls 3. I'd obviously played a bunch of Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2 on my Xbox 360. Dark Souls 3 got announced, kind of. It was a leak, but they said it was going to be on PlayStation 4, you know, next-gen consoles only. PlayStation 4 and whatever the Xbox was. I don't remember what it was called. Xbox One, maybe. But at the time, there was another game called Bloodborne, and I thought, well, if I have to get a new console, I might as well get the PlayStation 4 and play Bloodborne while I'm at it. Alright. So, I spent a lot of my time on Reddit back in those days, in the Dark Souls Reddit. And we would talk a lot about PvP and invasions and stuff like that. And a lot of my earliest videos were basically just made, the entire YouTube channel was basically just me showing people stuff to reply to like Reddit threads, right? And what happened, the more I replied to things, the more I had these conversations. A lot of people don't, like, they'll come into a Reddit and they'll say something and then they leave and they never come back, ever. And so it's just inherently pointless to try and have that's not a conversation. That's someone just walking into a room, announcing a thing and then leaving. You can't talk to that person. And so a lot of times when I read really stupid comments, I know there's no point in me responding to it. I understand that, and yet spite dictates that I make fun of it, and so I do. And that's where a lot of these stupid voices and, you know, dumb commentaries come from, in case you were wondering. But I'm going to have a playlist for that stuff. So you'll have a playlist for the informational stuff, and then a playlist for the first playthrough, and then a playlist for the stupid stuff. And I like the stupid stuff. I don't know about you. But, yeah, all of that will be compiled in playlists. I'm actually doing that as we speak. I only took a break from doing it to record the commentary for this video right here, which features a build I made. This is based off of Frog from Chrono Trigger, Glen of Guardia. If you would like to see more of this build, it's level 80. It's a pure intelligence build. Just go into the playlist and look for the pure intelligence build with the frog head, and you'll find a bunch of videos, and you can learn all about this build or any other build that you might have questions about. And that's the video. Thanks for watching it. Welcome to the channel. Thanks for being here. I'll see you around. Until next time. Later, guys.